Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. So we're doing this a little bit earlier, and I got a lot of things to go over, so let's just jump right into it and not beat around the bush. So first of all, there was some good news today. It looks like the CPI numbers came out, and they actually beat expectations. And of course, what did the market do? Not much. And when you see good news after good news after good news after good news, and then the market doesn't respond or falls a little bit down, you have to think to yourself, what is really going on? And if we are just taking a look here about what exactly I'm talking about. Today is not Wednesday, March 5th. Where are we here? It is Wednesday, March 12th. And it looks like core CPI came in and the numbers were pretty favorable. Previous was 0.4% and the forecast was 0.3. And core CPI came in at 0.2%. This is exactly what the Fed is looking for. They're going to cut rates. So that's great. That means that inflation is not inflating. So that's pretty great. The consumer price index itself, not year over year, went from 0.5 previous. They thought there would be a reduction, went to 0.2. Not too bad. We'll take it. Actually, also job openings. I didn't see this, which was yesterday. Previous was 7.5 million. Now we have 7.7 million. And of course, we take a look at the CPI. Now, tomorrow we'll get the jobless claims and core PPI. But right now we're having pretty good news. And what do we have in the markets? Well, the markets are still spooked. And they're spooked because they don't really know what's going on. They don't like ambiguity. Slows a bit in February, but now the Trump tariffs loom, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the markets themselves today are looking pretty darn good, almost 1% for the S&P 500. But the trend so far has been a little bit of non-resilience. Over the last 5 days, a month, 6 months, you can make the case that barely eked it out, but 6 months, it's been going up pretty well just until about February or so, middle of February, and then here we are. Now, 1 year, 5 years, of course, is looking good, but we're in this little bit of a downturn, and that is exactly what's going on. If we actually want to take a look at that as far as like a heat map, we can take a look here, and this is where we're at. Looks like as far as like the Magnificent Seven, the Apple's, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple's down a little bit, 2%. Amazon's up, Google's up, Meta's up, Berkshire Hathaway, now apparently in the top 7 because AVGO and Tesla actually slipped quite a bit. I think they're down a substantial amount. And now their market cap is only 799 billion, and they've fallen quite a bit. And of course, that is because of the issues that are going on. Oh, and it's not within the company. There is a big backlash against Elon Musk. You can talk to me about what that is in the comments section. I'm not here to talk so much about the traditional markets, but this is where we're at. So the question is why? Why did it drop? Why? What's going on? It's just because of uncertainty. There's nothing that has really much changed. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't want to keep going over it again. There's no there's no hard fork coming for Bitcoin. There is no major hack for any of the layer 1 solutions. There is no nation states that are dumping Bitcoin in mass. It's just what it is. And it's because of people are scared of tariff. So the question I've been asking quite a bit is, first of all, this time feels a little bit different. And we're going to take a look at the last year or so about why I feel that it definitely is. The second thing is bear market. Is this a bear market? And when I say bear market, let me be 100% clear here. When I say bear market, there are things that we can go into a bear market and not go through another 4-year cycle. I hope everybody realizes that. We can go into a bearish trend, bearish sentiment, but it doesn't mean like, well, that's it for the 4 years. It's just that right now, let's call a spade a spade. We've got nothing but good news, a little ambiguity on the side. Things keep going down. I know no one wants to say that. No one wants to talk about it, but it's like right in our face. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but this is just how I see things. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what do I do in a bear market? And that's up to you as the individual. For me, the bear markets are not times to sell. I think for me personally, unless I, need some major thing to have happen or some catastrophe happens in my life, I don't need these funds because I follow the rules. Bear markets are not to be sold into weakness. You sell into strength. And strength is when that comes when we have a bull market. Nobody likes to do that because for some reason they think everything's going to keep going up. So when I talk about the bear market, it's not the worst thing of all time. I look at bear markets and go, prices are down. I don't really want to sell in the weakness. Let's see how they can look at the risk factors. Looks like it's a good time to buy. No one thinks it's going up. Time to buy. And then when we go into these bullish sentiments and we start going up and up and up, I'm the one that's saying geez, maybe we should take a look at the 5 rules that I've had up forever and talk about taking some profits. How about we take some profits? Let's take some profits. And it just keeps going around. So let's just quantify this and talk about what exactly is a bear market itself. Now, this is traditional markets, okay? Bear market, this is from Investopedia, is a financial market experience, prolonged price declines, generally 20% or more. A bear market usually occurs with investor pessimism, which we can take a look at the fear and greed index. That's a pretty good way to look at it. Large-scale liquidation of securities and a weakening economy. It's also a good rule of thumb if they experience a decline of 20% or more over a sustained period of time. Now, you can quantify that as whatever time frame you look at. But if I take a look at it, like, how are we doing as far as the markets themselves? Well, again, got some pretty good news as far as inflation. Maybe Jay Powell might cut and get some rate cuts. Maybe we'll see a little bit of an end of the quantitative tightening. Who knows? But of course, today over 24 hours, we're down 0.1%. In the last hour, up 0.1. That's great for Bitcoin. But across the board over 7 days, 30 days, 24 hours, it's red. It's red time, except for Pi Network, 21%. Good for you guys. I don't own that stuff, but it's fine. That's great. Hopefully you guys do well. But it's a lot of red. It's a lot of red. And that information came up about 6 hours ago. So this is where we're at. So again, about that bear market type of thing, 20% or more over a prolonged time period. Again, you could take the time period as, well, is that 2 weeks? Is that 2 months? Is that 6 months? Is that a year? Is that 2 years? For me, I just take a look at it and say, well, over a prolonged period of time, we'll talk about months. Did you know that on December 16th, January, February, March, roughly 3 months ago, we were at 3.9 trillion. That's a good amount. And right now, we're at 2.6 trillion. Somehow, we seem to have lost $1 trillion in this market. So that's over 20%. Correct me in the comments section. So check. And then if we take a look here over time, as far as the market sentiment, actually, that's a good question. Where does the market sentiment? Let me pull this up. Let's just steal a little bit from Ben. Charts, fear and greed. Today, we are at, well, not extreme fear. We're at fear. Okay, so the market sentiment is looking somewhat bearish, I would say. But the question is, well, you said that we can have bear markets and bull markets, or we can change course. That's exactly correct. Does this look like a bear market to you? That's a lot of red. You look at that, and this I'm taking a look at from May to February. May, June, July, August, it's like 8-9 months, something like that. What is this? Well, this was the last bull run. Do you see here, April 14th, 2021? The price was $62,807. And what happens? We start going down. The sentiment starts tanking. And we start to see over a prolonged period of time, the price evaporates and it loses 50%, over 50% of its value. Again, when we start to see sentiment change and price drop over a prolonged period of time, we're talking weeks, over a month, 2 months, 3 months, this would be a good time to think to yourself, okay, we're in the bear market. Prices are going down. I don't like to sell into weakness. I should probably think about buying some more and then just leave it alone. That's pretty much it. And then, of course, if you did that, you did a great job. And then, of course, what happened? Up it goes. Well, what was the sentiment around that time? Well, the sentiment from 2021 in February to 2022 for that year, I'm going to show you the extreme fear timeframes. Nothing. There was no extreme fear at that time frame. But if I turn on the just regular, good old-fashioned fear, that was the market sentiment. Fear, 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 fear. Oh, excuse me. And extreme fear right here. I take that back. So that is two of the criteria. What about the economic factors? Because it says here, and a weakening economy. So during that time frame, I would say that did not hit. Because during that time frame, as far as GDP growth, remember, if you want to go for the old-fashioned definition of a recession, that is 2 consecutive quarters of GDP decline. And we can see in 2020, the end of it, Q4, let me blow this up so you can see it. It was 4.4, and it went up to 5.6. That's good growth. Q1 2021, January, February, March. April, May, June, 6.4. July, August, September, you got me. There was 1/4 of a decline, so you might make a case for that one. But then in Q4, rallied up again. So we can see these things. I don't want anybody to flip out when I say like, hey, this is kind of a bearish trend. What do you want to do? This is what I see. This is how I see it. It's a bearish trend and going on for quite some time. There's might be some manipulation, who knows? But when I say this time is different, it is a little bit. I want to show you something. I just took a look at the DCA charts over the last year or so. And what I wanted to do was take a look at from March 11th, 2024, a year ago, to today. I guess it's March 12th. Is it March 12th? Let's get these time frames continued. Yeah, March 12th. And if you DCA'd over that time frame, you'd actually done pretty well. I'll show you how well you would have done, but not that great. But I want to go all the way back to in the 4-year cycles to 2012. Tell me where this is different. Obviously, there's diminishing returns, obviously. However, not really. So if I go back in the 4-year cycle, remember it all starts with a halving, then the next year is an all-time high. So let's go March 11, 2012 to March 12, 2013. Just in that time frame. I'm not going to go all the way to the top of 2013. If you would have dollar cost averaged $100 of Bitcoin, first of all, this isn't even fair. I shouldn't even show you this because it's just ridiculous. You put in $100 here, and if we would have gone to, actually, it's not too bad. If we would have gone to March 18, 2013, because I can't show you all the way to the right. That doesn't make any sense. Just that 1 year, you're up 400%. Pretty good, right? Now, if you would have held the whole time, which you wouldn't have, you would be up 47. You'd have 47,236,000, and you would invest at $5,300. Don't let that get to you. Just remember these numbers. 439%. Just that year for that 4-year cycle. Now let's move forward. 2016, 2017, same thing. And we come down here. Let's say on March 14, 2016, you put in $100 to XRP, Bitcoin, ETH, and Doge. If you would have gone to this time frame, January, February, March, you'd actually only be up 64%. Now that's interesting. That's called diminishing returns, right? Makes sense. 4-year time frame, 64%. ETH, you'd be up 300%. Congratulations. Doge, 9%. XRP, 5.5%. Just in that 1 year. Let's fast forward to 2020. You did the same thing. Congratulations. You invested on March 16th, 2020, and you went to March 16th or so, 2021. You're up 400%. Doesn't that look like the cycle previously in 2013? You're up 400% in just that 1 year, 400%, right? How much were you up in 2016, 2017? Like 64%. Well, what about diminishing returns? Well, it doesn't make sense there. And that's just how it is. And that would bring me to my last point, which is this. This is why I think things are different, and they're different, but they're not. And it's kind of falling along with 2017. Look at this one. I invested $100 on March 11, 2024 into all these different stuff, right? And if I go to today, because obviously, look at this. First of all, there's massive diminished returns. I'm only up 9% on Bitcoin, 34% on ADA, and XRP 180%. And I'm down the rest. So this looks to me like, again, 2016, 2017 was the closest one at 64%, not the 400% like we've seen before. But it is a little different. And I still say we're in a bearish trend because good news does not equal good results as far as the market goes. And even as much as we've gone through for just a year or so, I mean, imagine a year, things are looking pretty good, but just dollar cost averaging, not so much as far as the price appreciation. Do I think it'll turn around? I do, but I think we have to be realistic with ourselves and go from there. All right, so that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We talk about it's time sensitive. Now let's go over a little Q&A and get from there. 4% of 10 bucks, only 40 bucks. It's true. But that's you put $100 in when Bitcoin was $10, let's say, right? How much is that? Well, you got 10 Bitcoin. Correct my math. 100 bucks, $10 of Bitcoin, $10, yeah. So you're up 400%, 400 bucks. Hey, not too bad. Basis says, do you think next cycle will be better, Rob? I don't know. I mean, this cycle's just kind of laggards right now. And the reason is because, and I've said this 1,000 times, tariff. Once we really get the real story, then we'll know. When is Tomato Coin going to move? It's not going to move. Tomato Coin lover, well, it might move. I mean, with somebody, I don't know, like Olive Garden signs that contract, it would be good. Putting tomato on the blockchain, very difficult to do. Hello. Frosty P is not here for the hope. I'm only here for the free bagels. Yeah. I just tired of people saying, you know, like they just released the bulls and all that stuff. And I'm like, no one did. What it is we're in a bear market and we have to treat it as such. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just kind of, it annoys me when people don't just say like, we're in a bearish trend. When you're in a bearish market, I mean, you can sell and get out, but I mean, how many times have we sold and gotten out and then all of a sudden it does a total 180? You're like, what happened? And then you miss out on all those gains. So for me, like I always look at it and go, I'm not going to sell until we're into a bullish trend, which I did last time. And now I just see it as just the accumulation time. That's it. Olive Garden is not authentic Italian, but it is good though sometimes. Rob, you see another drop in Bitcoin? Potentially. I'm not the TA guy. Go watch. I mean, Ben's got a pretty down lockdown. Tommy Crown's got a pretty good job over there. And then of course the guys over at Coin Bureau do a great job of just giving you just data. So if it is, it's anybody's guess. And I'm not that guy. Rob is jaded. Well, in the long term, no. In the long term, I'm not at all. If I was jaded, I'd say, you know what, let's just get out because it's not going to ever hit the all-time high again. I still think we've got some room to grow. And I still think that, you know, once we go through this and figure out what tariffs are, it's going to be good. The problem is, I shouldn't show this to you, but why not? Let's see, where is it? This is Howard Lutnick, and he was on, I think it was CBS. And I want to show you something that he said, which I want you, this is the mentality. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just saying this is the mentality that the Trump administration has. And they're going to push, and they're going to push hard until they get what they want. So if you think that tariffs are bad, they're pretty much willing to go to the mat. Listen to this. This is about 1 minute and 20 seconds. And I want you to notice the title. Commerce Secretary says Trump's policies are worth it, even if they lead to recession. He does say it, but he clarifies. Take a listen.
Risk of a recession this year.
Will these policies be worth it if they lead to a recession, even a short-term recession?
These policies are the most important thing America has ever had.
So it is worth it.
It is worth it. I don't think the only reason there could possibly be a recession is because of the...
Okay, so he said it, right? But of course, that doesn't get clicks. What gets clicks is just a very small piece. This is what he totally says.
Biden nonsense that we had to live with. These policies produce revenues.
So you're saying when it looks chaotic and unpredictable from the outside, that there actually is a master plan when it comes to these tariffs?
It is not chaotic. And the only one who thinks it's chaotic is someone who's being silly. He said reciprocal tariffs.
Nobody expected him to announce 50% tariffs this morning.
He needed to break some guy in Ontario who said he was going to tax American energy 25%. The president of the United States in the White House says oh, no, you won't, and breaks him. And you think that's chaotic?
Okay, Nancy. So
Well, that's what it is. So if you think it's not gonna get more tumultuous, I think you're in the wrong room. Anyhow, let that just digest and you guys figure it out. Put in the comment section what you think's gonna happen. I gotta get out of here. Thanks so much for watching. If you like today's video, like and subscribe. Don't worry, things get better, but just ready for volatility. Adios, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.